Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Tuesday means it's Type 2 or Standard Tuesday, and we got a really spicy aggro list to look at today. This is Blue-Red Artificers, kind of a semi-tribal deck, but not one of the tribes you're probably expecting in a world of dinosaurs and pirates and all the other sweet Ixalan stuff. Artificers was probably not at the top of your tribal list, but the deck looks super sweet. Comes to us from Nicodles for Life, probably better known as Pro Tour player Craig Wesco, who took it to a 5-0 finish on Magic Online. So congrats to Nicodles / Craig on a super sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break down Blue-Red Artificers for Standard. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So, with tribal decks, we often talk about the competitive advantage. Why in the world do you want to play that tribe? What does that tribe do better for anything else? And for Artificers, it comes down to a single card, Inventors Goggles. Inventors Goggles might not look like much. It's actually just a common, but it is super powerful in an Artificer tribal deck. 1 mana equipment, gives a creature +2/+1. The big deal is whenever an Artificer enters the battlefield, you get to equip it for free, which means you play a random 2 mana Artificer after playing Inventors Goggles, and suddenly you got a really big threat. For example, on 2 mana, we got a few janky Artificers, Ether Chaser, also Ether Swooper, and while these cards aren't super exciting on their own, if you play an Inventors Goggles on turn 1, follow that up with an Ether Chaser, you have a 3/3 first strike. Ether Swooper, you end up with a 2/4 flyer. Those are both way above the curve if you have the Inventors Goggles, especially since you're getting that equipped for free. The other thing about Ether Chaser and Ether Swooper is they kind of make some random chump blockers. They give you 2 energy when they enter the battlefield. Whenever they attack, you can pay 1. You make a 1/1 servo. So even though they're only 2/1s and 1/2s, when you consider they kind of come along with a free 1/1, assuming you get in 1 attack with them, they're actually a pretty good deal for their mana cost. We also have a couple more Artificers working our way up the curve. Pia Nalar, just a 1-of since it's legendary, but again, right on theme with our Ether Super, coming down for 3 mana, giving us a 1/1 Flying Thopter token, just like Ether Super and Ether Chaser, and then giving us some extra value, where we can pump artifact creatures, really nice with our Flying Thopter tokens. Also can sack artifacts to make things unblockable to get in some damage. Works well with Inventors Goggles, like sack a random servo to give our biggest creature the ability to be unblockable until end of turn. We also have 4 Whirler Virtuosos, but we are definitely not an energy deck. Yes, we get a bit of energy from Ether Chaser, from Ether Super, but Whirler Virtuoso in this deck, rather than being like, oh, I have 15 energy, I'm going to make a whole flock of Thopter tokens, it's more a 2/3 that happens to come along with a 1/1. Maybe if we don't spend our Ether Chaser, Ether Super mana, we'll get 2 Thopters instead of 1. But that's pretty much all we're going for. It's just another Artificer on tribe that comes along with another body. So you can see the theme of the deck. Apart from being Artificers and this light, weird energy sub-theme, we're basically playing a ton of creatures that also come along with a 1/1 artifact creature token. So why do we want these random artifact creature tokens? And the answer is, we have some improvised threats. We have some payoffs that work really well and take advantage of the fact we're making these random little artifacts. Maverick Thopterus is kind of the centerpiece, because not only does it take advantage of our servos and our Thopters with the improvise mechanic, coming down for just 2 real mana in some cases. It's also an Artificer, and it makes even more Thopters. So when we can tap a couple servos, maybe a Thopter, we can tap our Inventors Goggles as well, which is just a free tap because it's still doing its job even if it's tapped, and play Maverick Thopterus for 2 mana, we're getting a great deal. It's like Lingering Souls, but better. 2 power and 2 toughness for Maverick Thopterus, along with 2 1/1 flyers. really sweet when we can power this out early in the game thanks to improvise. And then at the top end of our curve, we have free jam Regent to fly over all the ground creatures from Temur Energy and Ramadan. It's actually sneakily good. It's 6 mana, even though we can cast it for 2 real mana a lot of times thanks to improvise, dodging fatal pushes, dodging lightning strikes. It avoids a lot of removal and just gives us a really fast flying clock in the air. Rounding out the deck, we have some actual artifacts. Bombat Courier as our 1-drop, a great way to refill our hand. We're pretty aggressive. We're emptying our hand pretty quickly. So if we can get in a few attacks in the early game, cash in our Bombat Courier to draw a bunch of cards. Walking Ballista, another good artifact to support our improvise plan, also giving us some direct damage to close out the game, kill some little creatures. And then finally, we have a couple more big flyers. Heart of Kiran as a vehicle, also an artifact for improvise, and then Glorybringer alongside our free jam Regent to give us a really scary flying curve. So the goal of this deck, apart from gumming up the board with pretty useless 1/1s to stay alive against bristling hydras and so forth, is to play really big flyers that just fly over most of the decks in standard, most of the battling in standard is going on the ground. So that's kind of the theme of this deck, is to take advantage of the fact that everyone's playing these big ground pounders and not really playing much stuff that deals with flying creatures to kind of attack the metagame in a unique way. As far as removal, apart from the Walking Ballista, just a single Abrade, so pretty light on removal in the main deck. Mana base wise, we get Unclaimed Territory and Spire of Industry as 5-color lands. Unclaimed Territory, really sweet because if a card in our deck is not an Artificer, it's pretty much always a colorless artifact. The exception would be the dragons on the top end, but by that time we'll have real red mana anyway, so our mana is really good. Lots of untapped lands. Spire, Bluff, Canal, Ramadan Ruins for more direct damage, and some basic lands. In the sideboard, Magma Spray and Abrade give us some removal. Coming against Ramadan Bread, other aggressive decks. Abrade also good against God Pharaoh's Gift. Negate and Spell Pierce to fight against more controlling decks, so we're not getting fumigated and our wreckage settled. Crook of Condemnation for graveyard decks like God Pharaoh's Gift, Scarab God's deck, and another Heart of Kiran. And that is blue-red Artificers for standard, and that's our instant deck tech for today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.